Today's topic, how to commission an artist. So, you found an artist you like, but now you're not sure what to do? Here are a few steps to make things go easier for both you and the artist. Find an artist that actually does the style you're looking for. There are some artists that don't just do any style that you're looking for. They have a specific look that they've spent years working on, and then here you're going to go ask for something that they don't even do. So, look at their portfolio, look at the work they've done, and be sure that you'd be happy with what they'd be able to produce. Make sure that the artist is actually open for commissions. There are so many artists that are closed for commissions because they have other projects to work on. They have their own projects, they have projects they've been hired on, and sometimes they just don't want to take any more commissions from people because it is such a stressful experience sometimes working for others, trying to make artwork that just pleases them. Sometimes they're closed. Check their DeviantArt, check their personal website, just ping them on Twitter, ask them if they're open for commissions if you can't find it anywhere. Don't just assume that they'll be able to take your work at any time. Boundaries. Know what you're looking for. Are you wanting a headshot, shoulders up, full body? Make sure you know this if you're looking for artwork that is of a character. Also, be sure to have examples. So if you want a character of your own drawn, make sure you have, a written example of what they look like if you've never had them drawn before. Any other artwork that other artists have done, maybe say what you liked or didn't like about what they did with your character. Be prepared to have inspirations, like which artists you really like what they do and you think that this artist would be able to do it. Anything to really show the artist you're looking to commission what they're looking for. Even if it's from their own personal galleries. So look back at their old work and go, that's the one that I really liked what you did and I would like it to have this feeling or this coloring or something like that. So the artist is already getting it in their mind what you really liked about other things or their past work. If you're looking for a painting or large artwork, know what size you're looking for before you tell them. The artist needs to know this information so that they work on the right size of canvas, so that they make the image on the computer the right dimensions. These kinds of things are really important. You can't just say one thing and then decide you want it really huge at the end. Don't just say, do what you do. This is the kiss of death for most artists. It sounds so great for you commissioning an artist, like just go do what you do, we love everything. It's not so great when you're the artist. Because yeah, that sounds great, but 90% of the time when we do that, it comes back and you were actually looking for something else, but you didn't specify. So the only instance that I can think that do what you do actually works is when you're talking to an actual gallery artist, somebody who makes paintings of whatever they want, somebody who, is not working on a commission basis on what you want. When you say do what you want, do what you do, it's too loose most of the time. It sounds nice, but in the end, you're probably not going to be happy with what you end up with. Most artists will let you see a sketch of the work before they're finished. So for me, I do my sketch, I send you a picture, and then you can tell me if you like it. If you don't, where is it going wrong? What is not what you were thinking? I might have to explain why something you wanted isn't in the picture because it might not work. Sometimes a pose is just too complicated or unnatural that it looks really wrong. So be sure to give the artist enough room in your descriptions of what you want to fix the picture, but also make sure you explain what you're really looking for. If the artist doesn't want to show you a sketch, maybe ask why. Most of the time the artists will send you, even if it's just a quick flash photograph of what it is and where they're going with the picture. But I do think it's within your rights as the person asking for the commission and paying to kind of see where the picture's going before things get too permanent. So before they're going to start doing the inking, before they're going to put down any paint, just kind of ask to see where it's going so that by the time the picture's done, there won't be any huge misunderstandings. Deadlines. Another big one is if you have a deadline. Are you needing this artwork for something in particular, something that's time sensitive? Be sure to mention that, because it might factor into a rush fee, meaning your priority over all the other projects and all the other commissions the artist has, and you might have to pay for that privilege. So be sure to mention if there's any specific time you need it, like for someone's birthday or Christmas or something like that, because it really might factor into if the artist will even be able to take the commission. A few times people have commissioned me and never mentioned that, oh, they actually need it by the end of the month. Where their commission, yes, it's important, but I might have 2 to 3 others that came first. So be sure to mention when you need it by, and that will factor into how the artist can say if they can take the commission or what the price might be. So deadlines are very important when you commission an artist. Copyrights. Yeah, copyrights. Copyrights are a hard thing. A lot of the time, what I've found is when somebody comes to commission me, they want a piece of artwork. Somehow it gets into the idea that this is a collaboration. It's not so much that. Like, think of an architect and you tell them to come and look at your property and come up with the best solution, you know, for your kitchen and dining room and how things should flow and what wall you should take out. You're still going to have to pay them for all of that time. Even though it's your ideas and theirs to come up with what works best, you don't get a discount because you're putting in your input. You should think of it the exact same way with an artist, okay? It's not really a collaboration unless this is a big project you're both working on together, like a book or a graphic novel or something like that. So think of that the next time you're trying to commission someone. You're paying for all of their time, the sketch time, the actual artwork, and then also the copyrights. So the copyrights are tricky because technically the copyright still is with the artist. Like, the artwork I do for you, it's still mine. I did it. You didn't pay me enough money most of the time to take that copyright away. So if you're going to be commissioning someone for something that you're going to either use on t-shirts or keychains or buttons or anything that you're going to be making any money off of or using promotionally, make sure you say that, because the artist will come back at you and say you didn't pay for that, because 90% of the time you didn't. That brings me to payments. So most of the time people give a flat rate, at least of what I found, for character work or things like that, which is most of what I do. I'll just give you a flat rate because I know how much time I spend on sketches, I know how much time I spend on inking and painting if it requires any. So the price I give you is a flat fee. But there are some contingencies. When I send the sketch to be approved, that basically means that there's a one time for changing. Like, I'll say, at this point, nothing is permanent, we can change everything. Well, that means that you get one chance to redo it if I've done something really wrong. Now, if it gets to, I make the changes you want, and then you still say things are wrong, well, then that's not my fault. You haven't been explaining yourself very well. So then there might be an extra charge, sometimes small, sometimes big, because it might mean a complete rework. So this is where being precise in what you want is actually very important, because it will save you money and us a lot of time. Usually, if the artwork is going to be pretty expensive, the artist will ask for half payment or a certain amount, a flat rate for sketching fees. This covers them so that in case after the sketch is done and maybe a possible rework, if you are saying, I just don't want to keep going with this, at least the artist was paid for their time, which is the minimum you can expect. I mean, think of every other job. You would have to pay everybody else for whatever work they put into something, like a lawyer or an architect or anything like that, really. So having to pay an artist a minimum just for their sketch work and then you cancel is, you know, I think completely normal. But there's another way of payment. You could do payment that's by the hour. Now, I don't know personally a lot of artists that do by the hour, but I know that it's there and it's a big thing. A lot of the time, by the hour work has to do with, say, tattoos. A lot of the time you don't get a flat rate for a tattoo artist. They'll give you basically like a sketch rate, you know, like a non-refundable amount, and then the rest is hourly. So sometimes you could end up spending a lot more money because it's a much more intricate tattoo than maybe they first thought, or you did, or you take lots of breaks and blah, blah, blah. So that is one of the biggest hourly rates of artwork commissioning that I've ever seen. Besides tattoo artists, the other artists that I see do hourly is gallery artists. So large paintings, I'll see them work on hourly rates. So if you're looking at a gallery artist, be sure you find out all the stipulations of payment and if there's any hidden charges or extra things to expect. But if you think of the artwork, most artists hardly get a minimum wage for their artwork per hour, and it's a real shame. I've tried raising my prices and then nobody commissions me, you know? There's so much saturation of artists looking for work that we undercut each other all the time, and in the end, it's not helping anyone. Make sure you know what your artist prefers, because there are so many different ways to do payment, but be ready to at least pay a minimum sketch fee, especially if it's a work that's going to be very complicated and you're really going to want to see it before they do anything complete. So now, the sketch is finished. You approved it. The artwork's done and it is finished, and the artist is sending you the completed artwork or file, but you don't like it. What do you do? Well, hopefully you can still talk with the artist about what's not working in the picture. They might be able to do a few tweaks, but be prepared to pay something for that, because that is still work, at least a minimum hourly wage to finish something that didn't quite get done the way you're wanting. If it's a complete rework though, it might be hard for them to do much on the actual picture, especially if it's a physical copy of an artwork. Things can get very hard to edit at that point. The best you can do is ask if they'll be able to do anything. If they say sure, then you're golden, but they might have to explain that it is beyond the point of changing, but they still did the work. You're still gonna have to pay for it, and if you don't, they might have to take legal action. If it was a large commission, hopefully you guys both signed a contract saying, you know, what was expected and what was finished. But don't just not pay the artist, okay? If the artist did well and you loved it all, be sure to tell others. Ask for some cards to be sent. Spread the word, share, tweet, Facebook, anything. Try to get the word out about your good experience with this artist, and it will go a long way. The artist will really appreciate it, and the next time you commission from them, they might go that extra mile for you. I know when I have a customer that keeps coming back, I'm much more willing to go above and beyond for them because of that. So think of that the next time you commission someone. So I hope all of this helped. If you have any more questions, be sure to put them below. There are the links to all of my social media in case you want to contact me other ways. Please like and subscribe. If you would like to become a patron and get inside looks at my work, daily updates, and lots more, the link is below. I'd really appreciate anything. Otherwise, expect other speed sketch videos coming up and another video at the end of the month. Thanks a lot.